Hello guys, welcome back to the Debug Arena. In this video, I will show you how to do login in React.js, Node.js and MongoDB by generating JWT token and following the best coding practices along with the MVC architecture so that our application will be scalable and secure. In my last video, I have completed with the registration screen. So this is my registration screen where I have implemented React hook form to do the validation and getting the data, and then I have created the API in Node.js so that we can do the registration, and you can see I am able to successfully register in our application. Now in this video I will focus on login, user details and logout functionality. So if you haven't watched my previous video, you can watch that, but if you want to continue from here, then also you can do that because I will take you to the code which I have written in the last video. So without any delay, let's get started. Okay, you can see here, this is my React application where I have created this folder structure. In the component, I am having auth, and inside the auth, I am having CSS login, which is empty, and register. So in the register, I have imported React use form. So you have to install this package, styles, link, and Axios. Okay, and then here I am using that use form. What use form does now? It allow us to store the data and validate that also. If you want depth explanation, you can check out my previous video or you can check out the documentation. Once I have initialized the use form which will store my value and my errors, this is my submit function, okay, where I'm calling the API, and if user is successfully registered, I am alerting it. Here also we should alert the error, which I will do. And then this is my UI layout. In the UI layout, you can see inside the form, I have called this handle submit, which is the part of this use form. So handle submit is like a higher order component, which will first check for the validation error in all the data present inside use form. Okay. And if all the data are valid, then only it will call this submit call, which is our API call. Getting my point? And if you want to store the data, how you can store it? So it is very easy. Inside your input, you can write it like this: register and the particular name of the input along with the validation you can add. And here you can show the validation through errors. So that's what I have done in the previous video to create the registration form and do the validation. Now what I will do, I will copy the whole thing. I will come to login and paste it. Okay. And this register, I will change it to login. This also I will change it to login. This login I will change it to register. Then I will go up. Password is required. Okay, mobile is not required, so I will remove this. Email is also not required, so I will remove this. I am not focusing on CSS and duplicate code. Okay, these are very easy. I have already explained you. This is label, input, register. Okay, so I think you can easily understand that. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Email I required, but not the full name. So I will write email here, and full name I will remove it from here. Okay, fine. I will save this. Then I will go above and I will put it here login. Okay. And this call, okay, this API. So for now, I will just comment this out, internal code. Okay, let me just explain you this use form thing. So here, use, so here in the use form, we can pass multiple keyword. That keyword you can explore it in React hook form website or documentation. Okay, so this register is used to register the variable or the input present in our component to this use form hook. Okay, so suppose we are having a email, so using this register keyword we can register our email inside this hook. Handle submit is a function that will be executed to check whether all the validation error present inside all the input variables inside this use form are gone. Okay, so they are satisfying that, and in these errors we are getting these errors. So what we are doing here, we are having the email field with label and input, here ID, type and class name. Then I am just registering this email, that's it. By adding this line, the email will be registered in our hook. Okay, then here I am doing the validation that email is required, and I am passing the regular expression so that whatever value is going inside this register, that is email, okay, it will check whether that satisfy this regular expression or not. Same thing goes for password. So now I will save this. Okay, this is fine. Now let me just go to app.jsx. Here we are showing register. So for now I will just remove this. I will integrate React Router DOM in just a minute. So let's first check the output. I will just write here login. Come here, come here, reload it, and you can see my login is created. And am I able to get the values. So you can see here I'm getting the validation error, and if I enter password or something, click on login, you can see it is going to the submit call. Okay, but here if it is having the validation error, it will not show the console here. So that's how easy to do the validation using React hook form. Now we have to create the API in Node.js to check whether this user exists or not, and if he exists, the password he provided is correct or not. If yes, then we will generate the JWT token. So let's do that quickly. Okay, this is my Node.js application where I'm using MVC architecture. So in MVC architecture, we divide our Node.js application into the routes, models, and controllers. I have already created a dedicated video on how to connect MongoDB with Node.js in MVC structure, so you can check that out for the integration. And then if I go to routes, you can see this is my user routes. So in your application there can be n number of routes based on the particular user or particular product orders or something like particular functionality. So what will be the flow now in app.js? You can see I have written here API auth. So what will happen whenever user will access http localhost 3001, okay, then he can access API. Okay, in the after API we can specify whether he have to go to auth or product or orders, okay, like n number of things. So if he select auth, then he can go to auth route. Inside auth route we can put n number of route, but in our case register is already there. In this video we will create login, user details, and logout. Okay, once user select this register, it will go to this register user function, which is inside our controller, where our actual business logic is there, where we are doing the validation. If the any of the field is empty, then we can return the response. Then we are checking whether the user registering is already registered. If not, then he should proceed. And at last we are encrypting the password and saving it to the MongoDB. So now what we have to do, we have to create the function for login. So what I will do, I will come here and open the terminal. Okay, stop the server, and let's install one package npm I JSON Web Token. Then I will come here and let's write the code for login. So I will write here export const. Then inside this, first thing we will do is create try and catch block. Inside try block, what we have to do, the user will send us email and password, so we can extract that using this. So const email comma password, and it should be extracted from request.body. Then what next? Once we got email and password from front end, we have already added validation there, but let's add validation here also so that it is foolproof. So here if email and password is not there, I can just return response with 400 error that all fields are required. Fine. After this, what we will have to do, just think about this. So we have got the email and password. Before comparing the password, we will have to check whether particular user exists or not. So for that I will just create a variable here user, and I will assign here await because it will take time, user, which is my model. So you can see here I have created a model also, and here also we have done the validation so that our database is also much more secure. It will not store rubbish values. Okay, so user, which is my model, and at the top you can see I have imported it model. Okay, so user.model.find one, so it will try to find this particular email. If this exists, then all the data of that particular email will be stored inside this variable. So we can add a condition here that if user is present, sorry, if user is not present, not. Okay, okay, fine, our validations are done. Now what, we have got email and password, we have verified that user exists. Now we have to verify the password. Okay, but here the thing is, at the time of registering, if I can show you, we are encrypting it using bcrypt.hash, so we have to decrypt it here. So what I will do, I will come here and create a variable is match, and here I will again write await because these things will take time, comparing, getting the data from MongoDB and all. Dot compare, what two things we have to compare? First one is password, which is coming from my front end, and the second one will be user.password. Now you might be thinking how user.password, because I have already told you that when if user exists with this particular email, all his data will be available inside this user. So I can access user.password like this. Now again I can add condition that if is match is not true, that means password didn't match. So I will again return it. So whenever we are adding return now, it will not execute the next lines of code. I hope you have already know these basic things, and here I can just return invalid password. Okay, fine. Now what next? User password is also matched. So once the password is matched, now we will generate a JWT token. So for that, I will go up and here I will just import JWT, and then I will go to .env file, and here I will write secret, and here we can assign anything. Okay, just random things. Okay, just save this. Then I will go to user controller.js, and here I can import that .env. So I will write here import from .env. I hope you already know about .env and all, because at the time of hosting you have to provide this externally. Okay, and here we can just write .env.config, and then I will come down. Now everything is matched, so we have to generate a token. So I will write here const token. Okay, so we can write here JWT dot sign. Sign is a method provided by JWT which creates the token based on the JWT secret, like this random secret, and it will try to encrypt our data inside this secret. Okay, so that through that token we can verify whether the particular user is correct or not, and we can get his information through that. On what basis it will generate? It will generate on the basis of JWT secret. So I can just write JWT secret, but from where this JWT secret will come, it is in .env. So we can just come here and write process.env.jwt secret. So now it will generate a token based on our JWT secret, but in that token we have to encrypt some of our data. Which data? Okay, so I will encrypt user ID. Here we have to pass user's ID. How we can pass? We can pass through user, which is having all the data, dot id. So if I take you to MongoDB now, our ID is always like this, like it is stored by default like this. So this is my MongoDB, and you can see ID is like this. You can store email here and other things also, but this is recommended. Okay, so this is fine. Now we should also pass here expires, so that this token should not exist lifelong. So we can pass here expires in, and I can pass here 1 day. Okay, you can pass minutes, seconds and all. Okay, now our token is also generated. What will be the next step? The next step will be to send this token to our front end. So let's do that. So I will just write here, and in this I will pass two things. One will be message and one will be my token. Okay, like this. And at last I can pass the error also. So for error I will copy error like this. Fine. So we have created our login user API, or we can say function. Now we have created this login user function, but we have to create the API. For that, what I will do, I will go to user route. Here registration is already created. I will copy this. Login method will also be post, because we have to receive the data from front end. So I will write here login, and here instead of register user function I can pass login user function, and yeah, that's it. Now what I will do, now I will go to the front end. Okay, and in the front end I will go to this login. I will uncomment this, and instead of this register I can just write here login. Okay, and here registration successful, here I can write login successful, or instead of writing your by own, we can also pass response dot message. That I will show you. Okay, so let's save this for now. Let's go here, let's pass the email, and let's write the password. Okay, not this email, because this email's password is encrypted. Click on this login, and okay, login failed. What I am getting? Okay, login failed, network error I am getting. Okay, this error should also comes in alert, so that's why you will have to alert here. Okay, but why it is failing? Let me see whether I have started a server or not. Oh, my bad, very big mistake. Node mon app. Fine. Okay, duplicate parameter response user controller. Okay, this is response only, this should be request. So let me write request here, save this. Yeah, it started. Now let's come here, click on this login, and it gone. API got called. Yeah, API got called, and you can see what we are getting. We are getting login as successful, and in response what I'm getting, I'm getting the token. Now as we are getting the token, we can navigate the user to user details page, and then send this token to get user API, and through the token user can find the user ID and get the user details and show it in the UI. Okay, That's how I followed in my previous videos. But you know, that's not secure, because for that we have to store this token in our local storage or session storage. That is fine for small project, but at big level project that is not recommended. So what's the better way? The better way is to use the cookies. So I will show you how to use the cookies here. Okay, first let me just go to my front end code, and here why I am not getting this alert successful. Okay, I think the status is 200, so I'll pass it 200 here, and now it should work. Now I will go to my backend code, stop my server. Okay, and here I will just install one package npm I cookie parser. Okay, and then I will go to app.js. So here there is some configuration. First, let's import the cookie parser. So I can just write here cookie parser like this. Yeah, it should be imported, and you can see you have to install this package. Once this is added, in the course we have to make the modification. What type of modification? Here we have to define origin, and this origin should be our front end code, which is http localhost 3000. Okay, fine. Okay, not 3000. My localhost is running on 5173. So this is for security. You know, it improves your security. And how cookies work, and how we can get that I will explain. No worries. And here we have to pass credentials as true. Okay, so that means we are going to pass and receive the credentials. And at last, to use the cookie parcel, we can just use middleware, and here I can just pass cookie parser. Okay, let's save this. Now let me just explain you how these cookies work. So previously, if you want to store the JWT token, we might have stored this in the session storage. That is from the client side. That is totally handled in the client side. But how cookies work now? Here I will come. Okay, so whenever this login API will be called and this token is generated. Token generated means users validation is done. Once the token is generated, I can store this token in the cookie. Okay, and that cookie will go and come in every request and response. So what I mean by that, once I set the cookie in this login user, it will go to front end directly. Okay, we don't have to do anything. And in the front end, from next time, whenever we hit the API of our Node.js, that cookie will automatically be shared. Okay, so we don't have to do anything externally. Also, that cookie is hidden, like we will be using HTTP only, so that cookie we cannot access it through script or something. We can only see that cookie in our application tab, but we cannot access it in our code. Like if the cookie is not HTTP only, then we can get the cookie using document.cookie, but if we use HTTP only, then we cannot get the cookie using document.cookie. Okay, so first thing, the cookie will always be set in the backend. Okay, and it will be shared to the response. Then from that response, it will be accepted by the front end application. It will stay there, and on every request it will be passed to the Node.js again, and they can validate the cookie. Getting my point? So cookie is a method used to do the validation, used to store small but sensitive informations. So to set the cookie, once my token is generated, I will come here and I will write response.cookie. Okay, so it is sending the cookie, or it is setting the cookie in response. Cookie name will be token. Okay, and here its value will be token. Now here I can define some configuration, like it should be HTTP only, and it will be true, so that it cannot be accessed through document.cookie, which make it more secure. After this, we can pass here secure, which should be false, because we are currently using the local, so it should be false, but in production it should be true. Then to make it more secure, we can use this variable, which is same site. Okay, and it should be lax. There is another parameter which I don't remember, but you can pass that. And then I can pass the max age, so I will just write here, so this is for 1 day. Okay, so that's how you set the cookie in the response, and that's it. Now this cookie will always be present in your request. Okay, so now from here our work is done. Now to enable the cookie in the front end, we have to do one small modification. So what we can do, I will just go to my front end, and this is my login call. Okay, and in this Axios, wherever we are making the call to our backend, which is sending us the cookie, so we have to accept that. So for that we have to just write here with credentials, and it should be true. If you are using fetch, it will just be credential, and in Axios it is with credential true. So it will allow cookie to be received and sent in every request and response. Getting my point? Now let's save this. Now if I go to application, you can see, let's go to cookies and expand it, http localhost cookies. Let's refresh it and you can see there is no cookie here. I will go to network tab, click on this login. Login got called, login successful, token generated. What's the last part of the token? Last part of the token is QV8. Go to application and you can see here the token got stored. And here you can see QV8. Okay, getting my point. So this is a secure way to store the token which will be expired after 1 day. Okay, in the same way you can implement access and the refresh token that are high level functionality we'll see in some other video, but for now we are good. We are sending the cookies, we are receiving the cookies. Okay, we cannot access this cookie through document.cookie. Getting my point? Now fine, now what next? To create the user details API, so let me just first create the API, then I will go and implement the router and user details screen. Okay, so let's come here. Okay, login user is done. Let's create get user details. So I will write here export const. It will be async and it will also accept request and response. In this, the first thing we will create try and catch block. And previously we used to get the data from body, but here we want to get it from the token. So we can get it like this: const token equals to request dot cookies dot token. Okay, so we will get the token automatically, and I can just write here if token is not present, I will return the error here. Once the token is verified, like token is present, then we have to decode it, like we have to extract the user ID which we have stored at the time of login here. So I can just write here const decoded is equals to JWT dot verify. There we have used sign to encrypt it. To decrypt it, we can decrypt it using verify. In this we can pass two things: one is our token, another is one our JWT secret, so which I can pass through process dot env dot jwt secret. Now if data is present, this decoded will have the particular ID. Okay, then I can again write const user, and here I will write await, again use my model dot find one so that I can find the particular user. Okay, it is same what we have stored at the time of login, so it will fetch that user. You can see here we are storing the user ID, so here we are verifying it and getting it. Okay, fine. Now again, I can just add condition that if user is not present, that is we don't get anything, so I can just return here response dot, and I can pass the user data inside this user. Otherwise in the error I can pass the same thing. Okay, fine. So our get user details is also ready. Here just I will change the status to 500. Now here we have to create another API which is logout. Now you might be thinking that in logout, why it is need to create the API? And the need is because of this cookies, because at the time of logout we have to clear the cookie from backend and frontend both. Okay, so that's why we will have to create the API. So here I will write export const logout. It will also have try and catch block. In the try block we have to set something. What? I will go to app.js. No, not app.js. I will go to the login. I will copy these 4 lines, paste it. Okay, it should be async. So here I am setting response.token to null. That means token is empty now. And here max age, I will remove the max age, and instead of this I will just write here expires, and I will assign new date, so it will expire just now. Getting my point? And at last I can just return the status as 200. That means everything is fine, user is successfully logged out. And at last I will return the error. Okay, fine, we are good. From the Node.js side we have created get user details API. I hope you have got everything. Guys, just one request from my side: if you are watching till now, then I request you to please leave a comment, it will motivate me. And also if you have any doubt, then please let me know. Okay, logout is done. Then I will go to user routes, and here just like we created login, we can create get user details. So here I will write get user details, and it will be get only. Okay, and here I can write get user details, and here I can just write logout, and my function name will also be logout, which should be imported from user controller. And you know what, we are good from Node.js side, we have completed everything. Now let's go to the front end and handle everything and see whether we are able to do everything correctly or not. First, I will come here inside auth and let's create another component named as userdetails.jsx. I also have to integrate router, so that I will do JSX. Okay, let's create the basic structure. Okay, fine. Our user details is ready where I'm showing name, email, and mobile. Okay, then I will go to app.jsx and let me just quickly integrate router here. Okay, you can see here I have imported browser router as router routes route. I hope you already know about router. So let me just remove this count also, and inside this I have written the router. Inside the router I am having the routes which will have each specific page. This is my default which will log into, which will go to login, register, and user details. Okay, let's see the output. If I come here, you can see this is the my login, or you can say default screen. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go to the login, and here once user is successfully logged in, I am getting this message. Along with this, I will also navigate the user to our register. So I will just write here register, sorry, not register, user details. So I will write here user details, but we have to import this navigate. So I will come here and let's create a variable name as navigate, which will take use of use navigate hook to navigate. Let's save this. Let's see, this name is same. Yeah, okay, so I think we are good. In the error also I will just alert here. Okay, fine, let's save this. Or here now, what you can do, you can add a condition that if response dot status is equals to 400, 500, or anything, then just alert whatever message you are getting. So you can make it dynamic based on the backend, but you can do that. I am skipping that part. So let's go here. Let's try to do the login. In this I will remove this co56. Click on this login button, login successful, and you can see I am navigating to user details, but I'm getting nothing. That's fine. Let's see. Reference error, styles is not defined. Let's see why styles is not defined. So I will come here, user details. Okay, styles is not defined. So I will come here and I will write here import styles module.css. I think this should solve the, yeah, you can see. Now I'm getting name, email, and mobile. Okay, now what next? From here, I have to call the API to get the user details, and for logout also I have to create the API. So let's do that very, very quickly. Here I will create a function name as fetch user. Okay, and above this I will create a state name as user comma set user. Okay, fine. Inside the fetch user I will write try and catch block. It should also be async. Then I will come here and let's create a variable name as response, and here I will write await axios.get and our API route, which is get user details. Getting my point? And we have to import this axios, so I can just write here axios. And also, to use the particular cookie in request or response, what we have to do, we have to add here another parameter which is with credentials and mark it as true, otherwise you would not be able to use that cookie. Okay, fine. And here I can just set user response dot data, that is whatever data we will get from backend, I am setting it to the user. Okay, now let me just come here and let's write this data dot, sorry, user dot name. So here alongside with the name I will show user dot name. In the same way here I will show user dot. Okay, I think this should do the job. Now the only remaining thing is calling this fetch user. For that I will call use effect. In use effect I can call the fetch user like this. Okay, and I can also pass this dependency array. Very good, let's save this. Let's see, here I'm getting cannot read properties of undefined name. Let's see the network tab. Okay, let's reload this. Okay, I think there is no network tab. Why? Let's see. Okay, let me just comment out this dynamic thing. We'll add that later. Okay, let's save this. Let's see now. Now we are making the API call, but we are getting status as 500. Token missing. Okay, let's see the backend. In the backend, okay, this is token missing. This should be server error for in the first place. So let me just write here server error. Okay, fine. And now we are not getting the response. It is coming here, but we are not getting any error. Let's just console.log decoded here and see whether we are able to decode or not. So let's reload this. Still we are getting 500, my bad. In decoded we are decoding, we are getting user ID, and here we are passing, oh my bad. So here we decoded that user ID is having the user ID, but we have to find. So at the time of finding, we have to specify to which field he have to compare. So you have to compare with dot ID. So now it should work. Let's save this. Let's come here. Let's reload this, and you can see, yeah, now I am getting the data. In the response, you can see I'm getting all the data. Others Thakur, others 702216, and yeah, fine. We are good. Rather than passing ID, password, and all, na, you should modify this and only pass the necessary things. Okay, like just destructure it and pass the necessary thing. Don't pass all. Okay, but I can leave that thing to you. So this is done. Now I am getting the data. Now what I will do? Now I will again come here and let's uncomment this. Let's save this. Let's go there, and you can see I'm getting the data even if I reload it. Okay, now I'm not getting it again. Name is not defined. Okay, I know the reason. It is because this mapping thing na, getting the from the API and all will take time. By the time we are rendering this, so we should not render here. So what I will do, I will just come here and let's add the condition that if user is present, then only render this UI. Come here, paste that. Okay, they should be inside a fragment. Yeah, they should do the job. Let's see. Let's reload this, and you can see it is fine. We are totally good. Now only thing remaining is logout. So let me just quickly write that function too, and we'll explain you then. Okay, it is done. You can see I have imported here navigate. Okay, and here I have created handle logout. In this, what I am doing, I am making the call to Axios post localhost 3001 API auth logout. I am passing here with credentials. Okay, and I'm navigating it to login. And here I'm just consoling the error. Okay, and if you want, you can alert that. Let's see the output. Let's see. Let's come here. Okay, click on the logout, and I have been navigated to this login. Let's try to do login again. Okay, let's set the password to 56. Click on the login. I am able to log in. Navigate here, click on the logout, and once I do the logout, do I have cookies here? And you can see no, I don't have the cookies. So all our functionalities are working as expected. Now here, what are the modification you can do? In the modification, you can change this register so that we can navigate to the register. So let me do that quickly. So I will come to login and just scroll down, scroll down, scroll down here. Instead of this register, I will paste this component which is link. Okay, this link should be imported from React Router DOM. Okay, fine. And the same thing I will paste it in register also. And here it should navigate to login. Let's see whether it is working or not. Click on register. It is navigating to register login. Yeah, it is totally working fine. And that's it for the video. In this way, you can easily create login, register authentication in React.js, Node.js, and MongoDB with proper authentication, security, and scalability. In the next video, what you want? Should I handle that token expiration, like after 1 day or after 15 minutes my token will expire? Then how will my website handle it? Should I cover that, or should I cover the concept in which the user is logged in once and he will be logged in until the token expired, or user clicks on logout button? Like if user is logged in this tab, then he should be logged in all other tab. Even if he close the browser and comes in, he should already be logged in. So if you want to know how to do that, let me know in comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe the video. Thank you.